pardon.
Stop, you can't use that.
Wait, we can't?
I don't know, can you?
Are we being French or French Canadian?
Oh, French Canadian.
If we were French Canadian, we'd be like, I'm so sorry.
Je suis la jeune fille.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here again with Better Call Saul, Season 2, Episode 9 now. Introductions, I'm Kevin. Tom over there. There's Katie and Blue. Tom, what happened in the last episode?
All right. Kim tells Howard she is leaving HHM. Howard wishes her well, and immediately after Kim leaves, they each race to secure the Mesa Verde account. Kim meets with Kevin and Paige, who agree that Kim will be Mesa Verde's outside counsel. Kim and Jimmy set up their practice in a repurposed dentist's office. Howard informs Chuck of Kim's resignation, the loss of Mesa Verde, and Kim's teaming with Jimmy. Chuck damns Kim with faint praise at a meeting with Kevin and Paige, causing Kevin to keep Mesa Verde's business at HHM. Jimmy perpetuates a ruse at the U.S. Air Force Base in order to gain access to the B-29 bomber Fifi and shoot footage for use in TV ads promoting his law practice. Ernesto tells Jimmy Chuck is ill from leaving the house to meet with Kevin and Paige, and Jimmy says he will stay with Chuck. While Chuck is asleep, Jimmy takes Mesa Verde documents to a copy store, alters them, then replaces them in Chuck's office. While surveilling Hector, Mike follows a cargo truck to a remote garage, then returns home and uses a length of garden hose to assemble a homemade spike strip. Definitely not an irrigation hose.
Yeah.
That is it.
We discern that.
Yes.
All right, so comments from the last episode. There's a lot of comments. So I tried to filter it down a little bit because we can't go through all of them. We'll be here
the
for
50-something
a long time. Yeah, so over 50 of them. So we can't see Katie, myself, and Blue, we can't see the comments because we're worried about spoilers. So Tom goes through the comments, filters them, sends them over, and then we kind of
Go
pick
through
the ones
that we
that
can.
we're gonna and filter through. So there was a lot of comments about the meeting and business type stuff. So we'll just go through it. So first comment here from Rick Sexton 8155 says, I don't understand at all what Chuck was supposed to have done so badly in the scene with Mesa Verde. I suppose it can be called manipulation if by manipulation you mean that he tried to get Mesa Verde to do what he wanted. He made an argument that was clear and professional, and he wasn't negative or deceptive about it. He was a little deceptive at the start. He's like, yeah, you should go with Kim. Similarly, I don't see what Howard did wrong beyond maybe being slightly quick on the draw and calling Mesa Verde. Kim had every intention of taking the client with her, as she had every right to try and do. She resigned, and after that, Howard's not under any obligation to let her walk out the door with hundreds of thousands of dollars in billings. Agreed. He's certainly not being unfair to her, and he has an obligation to his current employees to keep the firm healthy. Kim, Howard, and Chuck were all very professional, ethical, and above board in looking out for their interests. So one, in the real world, this would never happen. There's no way, Kim would have an employment agreement where she can't go ahead and take clients from the company that she's working for when she resigns. So, that Kim, it would have never happened. She would get sued. She would get sued out of her ass.
But they're technically her clients, though, no? I mean, she is the one that brought them, so they're technically
no. But she
works
HHM.
for a company. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, my issue was not necessarily that anything was wrong in what they did, but that the way that the conversation went between Howard and Kim, it was like, I think when he originally thought she was going with that other firm, he had resigned himself to losing Mesa. And then and he didn't even read her letter, nothing. Like, he just was like, oh, you're going with blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, out on my own. And his whole demeanor changed. So I don't think he intended to make that phone call. So when I say that there's like, what my issue is that there's like a dissonance, like between what he says and what he does. Because like I said, I think he had resigned himself to losing Mesa when he thought she was going with that other firm. And then when he realized she's going out on his own, he's like, oh, we could probably get to keep Mesa. And then he didn't even wait for her to get out of earshot. Like he was like happy. And I think that I don't know if it was like actual happiness for her or if it was like giddiness that it's like, oh, we don't have to lose these clients because she's going out on her own. And that's easier than going up against this other,
the big firm of Schweikert.
Right. So, there's nothing inherently wrong about that, but I'm saying that there is like a dissonance between his, like, I guess he sees and that's probably why he's so good at what he does, is that he saw he saw the situation, he was able to, but he didn't even wait for her to get out of earshot. And I think if he had waited for her to leave, because I think she felt good walking out of there. And I think if he had waited for her to at least walk out of the building before he went running to call them, I don't think she would have ran. So I think it was like, there's just this, and I think that's why I find Howard a little abrasive. So it's just like there's a little bit of a disconnect there.
Yeah, that's why he's everybody in the show is slipping.
Yeah.
Slippin Jimmy, Slippin Chucky, Slippin Howard.
And that was definitely
Howard.
Not a scam per se, but they were running an act. And nothing that he said was technically wrong, but they knew what they were doing. They were going in with the intention of, because like, I don't know, have either of them really spoken that highly of Kim? She's been put in the basement twice. And then they go in there and they're like, she's the best. She's awesome. Yeah. Yes, I totally understand.
Yeah, it's a sales pitch. It's a sales pitch, which is
a little bit
inherently manipulative. Every sales pitch is usually manipulative.
That's just kind of how I feel about it. And maybe but
yeah,
that was my read.
Completely agree. 100%. Like Chuck goes in there and he's like, oh, she's the best, and we're old people and she's a young one. like he wasn't channeling, his Slippin Jimmy. Like he was being manipulative. But that's a sales pitch. You're going to try to manipulate the client to buy from you instead of somebody else. But that's what sales pitches are. Manipulative. Next comment is from Executive Sonda, which is kind of resonating the same thing. Both Kim and Chuck made their sales pitch to Kevin Wachtel, and Chuck won out fair and square by making a compelling and reasonable argument in the facts that HHM is a whole team of experienced lawyers. While Kim, talented as she might be, is still just a single person. Chuck had petty motivations to attend the meeting, but he didn't scam Mesa Verde. So yeah, it's not a scam. They're not scammed, and you 100% correct. If I was in the position of Mesa Verde, yes. If I was in the position of Mesa Verde, I would select the law firm that has a lot more resources, and especially one that's got a lot of experience and references. Whereas Kim's just going off by herself. She's got to build her own foundation and stuff. That's a huge client. Like, the guy runs a bank, right? Isn't Mesa Verde a bank?
Yeah, and he's expanding into different areas.
Yeah,
that's the whole representation, is the expansion.
So what that whole interaction shows is that Kim is a really good salesman. And if I think they were on maybe even field, then Kim would have beat out Howard and Chuck. But Howard and Chuck have their foundation. So I mean, he can't blame. But again, the whole situation would never happen because there's no way that Kim's not even a partner of the law firm. There's no way that she could be able to go ahead and take the client without there being legal repercussions. You gotta remember, we're talking about an entity that's formed that's all lawyers. There's no way that she would even be able to think about taking the client without there being
can't the
legal
client
repercussions.
make that decision on their own? Like, you can't hold a client hostage.
No, she'll have a do not compete clause in her employment agreement.
Right, but we're talking about something that doesn't exist in the show.
Well, right, but it exists in reality, and that's what we're talking about, is that it doesn't make sense with reality. It's TV.
Right.
I mean, in reality, they're not gonna, like, the U.S. Army is not gonna fall for a guy in a wheelchair. That's not like.
I don't know, man.
That's
he looked
like
pretty.
That's a bit
pretty
like,
genuine.
I mean, and the fact that they did not, they just did not see him behind the plane, like
So that was just.
It is kind of cartoony
That's
sometimes.
that's a bit of a
so
stretch.
funny.
Though. Like it's a comic relief, but like it's a bit of stretch. Like they were hiding behind the plane.
All right, so next comment, we got Andy Fry, artist. He says, great reactions and discussion as always, guys. Just got to say that Katie gives strong, classy movie star vibes currently. Way to go, Katie. Specifically, Rita Hayworth. And I mean that in the most respectful, non-creepy way, and only as a compliment. It just had to be said. You're going to have to flash a picture of Rita Hayworth on there.
Fabulous!
Well, I've always said that Katie has the voice of Elizabeth Olsen. I close my eyes and it's like Katie speaking.
So funny.
So that's the first part of the comment. Second part is, this show does a fantastic job in its writing of Howard and Chuck. There's so many layers in how they manipulate the situation. Kevin is right. The people at HHM are the most important consideration, and I think they know that, but there is their ego and pride at stake, and that often overrides their better judgment sometimes. Seems to be a theme. Kim is amazing and has earned her victory and deserves to reap the reward from this, but the potential threat of Howard and Chuck still pervades and is what makes it so intriguing. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about that, except for like, it seems like it just seems agreeable.
I mean, we did already, like we did spoke a lot about the situation, so that's why like it's very. I mean, I'm not gonna say not fair, but like when there's a comment about a subject and we talk about it a lot, and there's another fantastic comment like this one, that's also about that subject. It's just like, we there's nothing more to talk about.
Yeah. It's just like, we agree. So this next one's really, really, really long, but
that's what she said.
Hopefully, what? I did like what they said, and it's a really long name. They had to talk about the comment from before. But I'm just gonna go Mandra 34991. I need a deep breath for this. So for all the apologetics that people trot out when they're excusing Jimmy's actions, I just realized that they never apply it to Howard, even though it's probably more fitting. To me, moments like this episode where he says he was talked into joining the firm paint a picture of a guy whose life was perpetually constrained by factors outside of his control. Whether it was his looks, personality, or family, it seems like he was constantly prejudged and spent his whole life living up to other people's expectations. He's always been the parrot in a golden cage. In a similar way, I could imagine Patrick Fabian being typecast into Howard Hamlin type roles just because people can't get over that perception of him no matter how well he acts. He fits the rich asshole stereotype enough that we have to actively work to give him any benefit of the doubt. So I think I missed that. There was backstory in there for Howard.
Oh yeah, when she says she's going out on her own, he says he wanted to do that at one time, but
and then
his dad wanted to add another H to the logo. Oh
yes, okay, I remember now. Okay, so cool. I like the little backstory stuff that they throw into the, to the story. That's kind of like an aside, because it gives you good hints as to the type of people they are, because it seems to be the type of show that, focuses on character, rather than so much of like the series of events and like the action.
Yeah.
Anyway, Howard and Chuck built something that they're trying to maintain. well, Howard and Howard's father, right, and Chuck. Anyways, like Chuck said in the first episode, cashing him out of HHM could shut the firm down. I disagree. And put hundreds of people out of work. Maybe. Why is it scammy for Chuck to try to keep a paying client by convincing them how well his firm can do what they want? Jimmy has the luxury of having no real commitments or responsibilities. He can set fire to something, walk away while it burns, and set up shop somewhere else while complaining about how the world is conspiring against him. If we assume HHM's success isn't just a plot device, then it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that got it to where it is today. When it comes to your life savings, what do you want your bank trusting? One of the best law firms in the state or a solo practitioner with a really good pitch? Agree. That goes back to his treatment of Kim as well. Both times he trusted his judgment and gave Kim more power, he ended up getting burned. It makes sense that the first thing Howard would do is take the power away before any more damage could be done. The Kettlemans were not Kim's fault, but her choosing to take the fall for Jimmy's commercial absolutely was. All she had to say was that she saw the commercial for feedback purposes and didn't know anything about its airing. As far as getting Mesa Verde's business, that was a success on Kim's part, but it didn't address or resolve the concerns that caused Howard to demote her in the first place. So that's a lot to take in, but yeah,
That's a doozy.
Yes, but like it's like all the other comments that we read in one comment.
Yes,
But
I mean there's a lot.
adding the Howard's backstory though, like that's a nice, addition to the argument.
Yeah, like when Howard's expecting her to come in and say she's going with Schweikart, and she says, "No, actually, I'm gonna go solo practice." Like you can see it in his eyes, like, and then he tells the story about how he once wanted to do that. Like he says, I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah.
And you can see like Katie said earlier, his demeanor completely changed. Like it went from you're abandoning us to go to some other law firm to now you're like you're trying.
Like, oh, bless you, bless your
I
heart.
expect
Like,
you.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I expect you to do for that. That's
Yeah,
what,
I respect that you're trying to do that, something that he wanted to do but never did.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's the dissonance of Howard, right? Like he's fucking manipulative too. Like he's just so like he wants Chuck gone, but clearly he doesn't want Chuck gone because he's taking his advice, even though he could easily get Chuck outed. And no, it wouldn't shut the firm down. It doesn't make any sense. But that's a whole huge discussion on how LLPs are set up and operating agreements, and
It's almost like a plane crashing into your pool.
yeah. It's not it's not reasonable in reality, but it makes for good TV. Next comment, comes from Pencil 6965. I love you guys' commentary. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice to hear that every once in a while.
Yes, I know. It is. So thank you.
All right, next we got Antonio Marouge 8218 says the dichotomy presented in this show is remarkable, reflecting the complexities. Dichotomy is like the separation, like the differences, right?
Yeah.
It's two sides.
Like the two sides of the story.
There you go.
Okay.
The dichotomy presented in the show is remarkable, reflecting the complexities of our real world today. We adore Jimmy and find his manipulations and law-breaking amusing, often giving him a pass because we believe he has a good heart. In stark contrast, we view Howard and Chuck's actions as unpleasant and obnoxious, despite their adherence to the rules. Our perception is limited by our affection for Jimmy. We discussed that, right? We talked about that before, about how, like, it's kind of not fair. But like we're all like, oh, Jimmy, when he's like really doing some shit.
It's the same thing with like why does Skyler get all the hate while Walt is doing all the
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like if somebody were to like write it down on paper, like all of the things that happen, and you read it, you'd probably have a different perception of these characters. But because, it's a TV show and you get to see the acting,
Mm.
and, there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of like subconscious thing that goes into the art of creating shows like this that then, kind of, manipulates the viewer,
Yeah, it's also
which is
the
good. That makes for that's good TV. That's good. It's good art.
it's also the actor's chemistry. Like if he has like if the actor is so good, he's gonna make you love the character, even if it's an asshole of a character.
Yeah. And so then goes on to say the question, what did we do to deserve this, encapsulates how the world challenges Jimmy about his choices. He's given a significant opportunity. Cliff respects him and treats him with dignity. Yet Jimmy's determined to sabotage the entire team, exhibiting behavior that is more in line with Saul Goodman persona, even though Cliff, as a neutral observer, has done nothing wrong to him. That is correct. He finally got the opportunity that he was looking for,
Mhm.
right? That he went to law school and everything for. But is it maybe he's just trying to, was he trying to subconsciously prove his brother wrong, or maybe try to but look better, or like finally be viewed by his brother as equal?
You mean like why he took the job?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like, so he was trying to go ahead and become a lawyer, but he really wanted to be a lawyer at HHM. And so now he got the lawyer over at this other firm, and he wouldn't act that. I think maybe he wouldn't act the way that he did. I don't know. I don't know, but
Well, I
G's not certainly didn't. He wasn't a good employee over there with Cliff.
No.
well, I think he took the job out of like well, I think Kim was a factor. I think
Oh,
his
right.
brother was a factor. I think he did it because he thought that's what he should do. And then I mean, Jimmy's a gambler at heart, and he couldn't gamble in that setting, and he rebelled against it even though the nobody had done anything to him except give him I mean, and Cliff covered that, and it's so true, like, they did nothing but, like, roll out the red carpet for him, and he did nothing but, like, squander it, like, he asks for the most expensive desk without really even considering, like, what that like, that somebody's footing the bill for that, he didn't care, it wasn't a thought, and then his, behavior at the end of his employment, like, that was unfair to the situation, but like I said, Jimmy has a compulsion just like, Chuck has a compulsion to, I think that was also multifaceted in terms of, like, motive for doing that, like, I think that there's this, like, competitive there's the nature between like, with him, I think, like, it overrode his crippling panic, like, agoraphobia. Like, he was all of a sudden able to put on a regular suit and go, and it's that same motivation, I feel like it comes from the same vein as when Walt saw Gretchen and Elliot on TV talking about, like, how he really, like I think it hits in the same spot, and it's just, like, I don't even think when you're in the midst of that you even realize why you're doing what you're doing. And I think part of it is, I don't know if it's Chuck's compulsion to not want to see his brother fail or maybe deep down knowing what's going to happen like with him as a lawyer with like unfettered like no reins at all like he's, and I don't know. I think it really does. Even though Jimmy's the one who's doing like actual things wrong, there is like disconnect between or not a disconnect, but like a dichotomy between what you what these characters thought they could do versus what they actually end up doing. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does.
And it's fun to watch.
It's just like it's just aspects of humanity, right? Like, and the differences that all these people have, and how like nobody's like super good except for Kim. Kim seems like she may be. I mean, she's not gonna be 100%, but she might be like 90. Yeah. All these other people are like, somewhere between 40 and 50. Except for
I
Mike.
love how you crunched the numbers on that one.
Except for Mike, I think Mike's like a B+. All right, we'll get through these last ones quick so we can start. Raymond Graber, I think the great thing about the show is that the majority of characters are complex, doing things that are likable and unlikable. Even the beloved Mike is a killer, yet we love him.
Yeah, that's
absolutely, completely true.
That's why he's a B+.
That point is not lost on me. I get that.
And then all PWD said here, timestamp, talking about manipulative by when Jimmy is literally doing the same thing in the scene. Never mind, another timestamp. Everybody is freaking manipulative. That's the whole point. They're all manipulative. Howard, Chuck, Jimmy, Kim, I don't know yet, but Mike, Stacy, they're all in their own way a bit manipulative. They're not completely honest about what their intentions are. So yes, everybody's manipulative. The whole show's about manipulation. Now to The Wire. The Wire's 5 seasons. It didn't get cut short. A lot of people are in it. It's great. Also, maybe Stacy blames Mike for husband's death, and she's letting Mike do what he's doing for payback. One, I'm glad I don't know what I confused The Wire with, where it was only 2 seasons and it cut short, but I have not seen The Wire. Tom, have you seen The Wire?
No, not at all.
Blue, have you seen The Wire?
I thought it was like literally a wire before
So no.
So that's supposed to be a really, really good show, I've heard. So maybe that's something we could decide to react to. But I do like that maybe.
To the list.
Yeah. Well, we maybe should have added Squid Game to the list, but we'll get to that. But I like the idea that maybe Stacy blames Mike for her husband's death, and she's just like letting Mike do what he's doing for payback. So like she's just like, yeah, whatever. At this point, she's just like, yeah.
Well, then that's like crazy, because there's been several scenes where like then she's a really good actress. And if she hates him and everything, you trust your daughter with him? Like,
Yeah, well,
so you're doing this all for the money? But I don't know.
Stacey hate is the only thing more forced than Skylar hate.
Okay, it's not hate, it's questioning. I'm allowed to ask questions, okay? It has nothing to do with hate. I'm just questioning some of the decision making. That's all. I don't hate her. I'm just wondering, like if I were her friend, I would not be her friend anymore or whatever. Like, I would just be like, girl, are you like considering some of this stuff? Like, no, okay, cool. Like, all right. I mean, I think maybe you should. And I'm not coming around your house because it's dangerous,
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't like hate her or like, I would just like as a friend, maybe because like I'm projecting onto her. These are questions I would have.
And Blue, Christy said that's why Blue didn't want to watch Squid Game with me.
Oh
Blue, if we had known you wanted to watch Squid Game and react to it, you should have said something. Because like Squid Game 2 came out and it was like, Katie, we haven't seen this yet. And we watched it. We're already like halfway through season 2. So like it's...
I haven't seen the first one, and I'm like I want to see it with you, but like it would be a good reaction to the channel. It would bring a lot of viewers. So I don't know.
It's a really good show, and I agree. But now you get to watch it with Christy.
Okay, fine.
And final comment, Steph
so
Broccoli. She saw the same photo on Reddit that I did. It was Bob and Rhea hiking, not Kim and Jimmy.
Okay,
so
good.
it is not a spoiler.
Now you can sleep.
Yes. Well, no, I'm not going to be looking for them and I'm going towards a mountain. I'll be like, there it is. That's the spot.
That's the scene.
There's a bomb in the car.
A
He
gun
picks
in the
up his
trunk.
gun.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, trash time.
That was a long comment section thing.
I know. I'm gonna have to figure out. I thought I trimmed it pretty well, but we talk a lot.
It's vibes, bro. I love the vibes. It's Mike setting up a trap for the truck.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
there's where the spike strip
Michael.
comes
It's the
in.
spike. Oh my god.
Michael. She uses Christian name.
What's his middle name? I think it's like
But the guy is vibing, bro. I don't know, like. You're ruining his vibe, Mike. Come on. He looks like the CS character.
Oh, he saw it.
Oh.
We saw it now. What?
I mean,
Oh, okay.
I was
like,
gonna
he's
say,
be
is he a
knocked
soccer
out?
player by chance?
Yeah.
the dude was
Wear a
vibing.
seatbelt. Wear your seatbelt.
Or who's that football player that gets tapped and then you're like,
It's freaking Josh Allen.
yeah.
Just
Oh,
Well,
had
that's
to do
terrifying. That new nightmare unlocked.
Is he gonna blow it up, Kevin?
There's a bomb in the trunk. And a gun. No metal in that jacket.
Oh, there's your tinfoil, Chucky.
Okay, all set.
What's up, bestie?
Howard's like, this was not on my bingo card, but I am not unhappy.
Didn't you say that the hearing is more or less a formality?
Well, the real work's already been done, yes.
Well, in that case, I'm fine covering it myself. Kevin and Paige don't need both of us there.
That may be strictly true, but we want to send the right message, don't we?
I'm just worried about your comfort.
I find victory laps very comforting.
See, and instead of saying I want to do this on my own, I guess there's bureaucracy. He must love his dad very much. I don't. That's the only thing I could think of. Is
Yeah,
that
he
he must
should
like
be a
really love
politician
his
today.
dad.
Yeah. It's like so politician, like, to talk like that.
Oh, that's right, because he swapped the documents out. It's not
Oh,
gonna look
yeah,
good.
bro. That's true.
It's the zombies in your head.
Destroy Jimmy. Can't let Jimmy succeed.
We believe that our proposed expansion is in the public interest,
There's something wrong.
both for Arizona and
But in the original submission, we're seeing 1261 Rosella Drive.
it is 1261.
1261.
I think if you double check, you'll see that
Oh
1216
my
is
God.
correct.
But on the actual filing, the address reads 1216. So, which is it?
You are mistaken, and with all due respect, you're muddying the waters.
Oh my god.
Oh, now they're fighting against the legal counsel.
Can't believe Chuck would do
This
that.
is clearly an error.
It's 1261. I know where my own damn bank is.
If I may, when do you think you might be able to schedule us?
I'm being told by staff that they've already done the research for 1216 Rosella Drive. Our folks are going to have to go back to square one on the new address.
We could obtain a provisional agreement today to allow the branch to open.
No. All due respect, it's up to you folks to submit accurate paperwork. Maybe next time, double check. Now, the soonest we could revisit this matter, well, it looks like 6 weeks from Friday.
Oh.
We can't wait 6 weeks.
Mr. Commissioner, Mesa Verde has put effort and resources into preparing this branch to open immediately. However unusual,
The sound
a
of the
provisional
lights.
approval
amazing.
would be most appreciated, most welcome. Time being of the essence.
Charles, I'm sorry. I'll see you in 6 weeks. That closes the matter for today. Will staff please note that Mesa Verde will return in 6 weeks.
Jimmy, you just killed your brother.
And we'll have expedited all the additional research.
No.
This is not possible.
I know.
This is not possible.
There he goes.
This was no mistake.
Huh? He's mad because he didn't get his money. Coco Salamanca. You can see him like having health issues. Oh my god, Mike is enjoying this so much. Maybe Mike's the reason why Hector's health
Has a stroke? That would be awesome.
Oh, I like it.
You don't got enough desert outside. You got to bring it inside.
I know that's very.
Here's Mesa Verde.
Yes.
No,
Of course.
that's Mesa Verde.
It's Mason.
Right, I understand.
I think she's gonna be mad when she finds out that.
Oh,
she made this.
Do you think
Yeah,
she
that would be
figures it out
perfect.
now or no?
I'll see you then.
Jimmy playing it cool.
And she's at the end of a rainbow. Where she get the treasure.
The pot of gold.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
What's up?
Huh.
She hit the jackpot.
I just got Mesa Verde back.
He's like, you don't say.
Seriously? Seriously.
Who's Ernie?
Hi,
Ernie.
What's up?
Bert's
Ernie's
bro?
the one that's been taking care of Chuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
Paige
okay.
just...
Oh, locks are changed.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Ernie.
Something's wrong with the lock.
Mr. McGill had me call a locksmith and change him.
I mean, it's kind of karma.
He sabotaged me.
Buddy, what are you...
Please, don't bother.
As he wears a tinfoil blanket.
You and I
It's
both
hard to
know
take
exactly what I'm talking
seriously.
about. And in the dead of night, he went through my Mesa Verde files.
Hey, you know what? We don't have to listen to this.
She does. You do. For your own good. And if you're wondering if Jimmy's up to a little casual forgery, you should know. In high school, he had a thriving business making fake IDs so his buddies could buy beer.
You're going all the way back to high school, huh?
Hey, you and Mozart, huh? You both started young. He knew that I would use his modified documents to write Mesa Verde's submission to the state regulator. And so I did. Over and over. I typed 1216 instead of 1261.
So you're saying if we look in here, all the addresses will be wrong?
Well, of course you weren't going to leave evidence behind.
Oh, come on. I did all this, what, for some business?
He did it for her.
He did it for you.
It's all about getting his client back. That's all this is.
Not in the least. If knowing the truth, they still
You
decide
can't
to
stand the fact that they chose her over you.
I can't stand the fact that my own brother stabbed me in the back.
Come on,
I
bro.
can't stand the fact that you've deceived and ruined this fine young woman.
And what is your evidence?
My evidence. My evidence is knowing my brother for his entire life.
You made a mistake.
Ooh.
I did not.
Mistakenly changing 1261 to 1216 would be the most natural thing in the world. It could
He
certainly happen to me.
I
reassembled
did
shredded
not make a
papers.
mistake.
He did not make a mistake.
I believe
No,
you did.
he
Look,
didn't.
I
And
understand
I don't think
that
she.
you have a great affection for Jimmy. A great many people do.
But you're the one who made him this way. He idolizes you, but all you've ever done is judge him. You never believed in him. You never wanted him to succeed. I feel sorry for him. And I feel sorry for you.
She cuts deep. Yeah.
Kim, what?
You did do it.
I bet she punches hard.
Just
That's assault.
Garbage Reacts does not promote violence in any way,
Especially domestic violence.
especially domestic. Time.
I love how that's their
for another
like
commercial.
whatever
it's like
those
the,
things that they put
y-
cameras on, like the
What are they,
dolly
the
or
Beatles?
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
plant yourself. Here? You're just the person I want to speak to. It would be incredibly helpful if you could get those kids in that building over there to just keep it down for a bit. Just give them a worksheet or something. I mean, just 2 or 3 minutes, just for sound.
This is school property, and no one is allowed here without permission.
Of course not.
You're not shooting anything until I'm clear on what's going on here.
The documentary. We're making a documentary because of who went to school here.
Who went to school here?
Rupert Holmes. That's who the documentary is about. The singer-songwriter. You know, the Pina Colada song. I mean, sure you do. If you like pina coladas,
Oh, that's why you were
Buffett.
singing it
caught in
down.
the rain. If you're not
Yeah.
into yoga and you got half a brain. If you like making love at midnight in the dunes by the Cape. See? Look at her face. Rupert Holmes.
Nice.
God, it's so cheesy.
It does look cool though.
I live up in Cedar Crest. We get plenty. You can shovel my drive if you're looking for more.
Oh.
Say the word.
Yeah, well.
Yes.
Ah.
Check.
She said you can shovel my driveway anytime you want.
Wow. Wow, is that a euphemism, Blue?
You could shovel my driveway.
She's like, I want to get plowed. Is that what you're saying?
Kid is like, oh no, here we go.
Who's the guy who won't pull the trigger? You. I'm picking up that driver. Hector's orders. We're gonna see what he knows, and if he knows you, that's bad for both of us. He was in on it, right?
Driver had nothing to do with it.
Then who?
Just me.
You're telling me you did this without someone on the inside. The cops don't know shit about it.
How's that?
When I called 911.
Is that what this is about? You wanted to put the cops onto Hector? Why? You are nothing to him. He forgot all about you.
I haven't forgotten him.
You put me in the shit just 'cause you got it in for Hector Salamanca? Listen, you put the cops on him. You put them on me.
You need to calm yourself down. And you need to take that hand out of that pocket. It's over. I'm done with your boss.
Whatever.
He's an interesting
Why wasn't
character.
it in the papers?
After you left, the Good Samaritan came along and said, oh my God, oh my God. He cut the driver loose. The driver called us. We came out, got the truck.
And that Good Samaritan?
Hector shot him in the face.
Now he feels
cleaned
really
it up.
bad.
Yeah, now he's not done with his boss.
Nope. Now he's not done.
Your brother is one smart lawyer.
The smartest one I know.
He'd make quite an adversary. The kind of adversary who'd find even the smallest crack in your defense. Going against him, you'd really want to make sure you've got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed.
What about your lowercase j's? Did he just think of something that he has to go do? He's like, oh
Went to
shit.
him. I don't know how he gets out of that one.
Oh, you're gonna
Hey,
find
how
out.
you doing? All right, well, let's cut to the chase. That guy who just walked out of here, his name is Ernie. I'm guessing he showed you my picture and asked if I was in here the other night. Now he's going to bring his boss, who's my brother, and he's going to ask you the same question. Did you see that guy the other night? Well, the answer is no. Sometimes I go number 2 and I don't flush, but
Wow.
this is
Why?
just a thing between brothers.
What
And
about
we're
it
both
at
lawyers, so.
Cliff's firm?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a long story you don't want to know.
Is this gonna get me jammed up with the cops?
My brother might make it sound like that, but no.
Then I feel you.
Hey, tell me about the cameras.
They go to a VCR in the back.
How hard would it be to erase?
I don't know. Could be tricky and expensive.
Ah, nice,
$100
Lance.
expensive.
Like $200 expensive.
Oh, come on, Lance. You can do better than that. 500.
You will go far, my young friend.
On or about the morning of the 18th, this person was here in this shop. Is that correct?
No.
Well, I believe you told my associate that he was here and that he made copies. Son, listen carefully.
Oh, here comes this
I am an officer
buzzing,
of the
Katie.
court investigating a felony.
So you're a cop?
No, I'm not. I'm
Listen, McGill, maybe we better get you home.
Is he like gonna hit him?
I don't want any problems here. So just
Oh no.
get him out of here or I'm gonna call the cops, okay?
Do not walk away from me. We are not finished here.
Done talking to you, man.
Oh,
no.
shit.
No.
This doesn't look to be bleeding that bad. She gives him a tissue.
A single tissue.
One single tissue. Now he's gonna feel some remorse. I doubt it.
Oh, that took
For a
it,
little bit.
Ooh.
Bow, 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 bow.
Oh my god.
What's your question, Blue?
It was like, I don't know why, but I remembered. I don't. Maybe it wasn't this one, but I remembered like when Mike was telling a story about once when he didn't pull the trigger, and someone else got killed.
Yeah,
that
the
was
guy
half
beat
measure.
beat his girlfriend with a warring blender. That's what you're talking about. But what's your question?
Yeah, but like I was like, this is another time where
He did half measure and didn't
did
shoot the
half measured
driver.
and another one died. So
And if he had shot the driver, the innocent
Yeah.
person wouldn't have died.
I
So
mean,
somebody died
maybe
either
he
way.
would have found him dead anyway. Like
Yeah,
called,
I think that's a good analogy or a good comparison.
but like yeah, I mean, he would have called the cops, like not the. But yeah, so that was just like a.
But
thought.
Mike doesn't kill
Yeah.
unless
It's also something like
he
if he's
absolutely
looking,
has to.
he was looking for it to be in the papers. Like, why didn't the police show up? Why didn't he get an anonymous call to the police about it?
Because there was no payphone there.
I mean, this is before cell phones. Haven't they used cell phones?
Okay, I don't
but
think
like-
we've seen Mike
No,
with one, have we?
Kim was taking phone calls
But
in the
like, can it
hallway.
be
Yeah,
anonymous?
she was
or
in the
Have we seen
hallway
Mike
using
with
it.
his cell phone?
Wait, but like, can
No,
it be
but there's
anonymous
cell
if
phones
you?
available.
But if you call from your phone, it shows your number.
Just get a burner phone. It's one of those pay as you go buy at the store.
Either way, yeah, I don't know why he didn't anonymously call the police. I mean,
Maybe
that's
he
what he
wanted
did when
to
he
see, like,
when he
if,
called Tuco. He could have just gone to a payphone, I guess.
Maybe he wanted to see if also they had someone inside the police, like
Maybe. Right. Maybe that was the point. What was the point of having the police called? That was there. Do they have? Maybe that's a good point.
And also, yeah, no, I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What
yeah.
an episode!
What do you? Pretty good episode, huh?
It was.
It's gonna
It
be
is,
Hank.
yeah, it's a very good episode. Oof.
Hank, wouldn't that be so funny?
He's gonna pop in at some point. You're gonna see him.
He's probably.
I have no idea how much of Breaking Bad comes.
You're gonna see
into,
every single freaking person, but maybe not till what is this 6 seasons?
You think like
I think
Skyler?
so, 5 or 6.
I think
Walt
Like
Jr.?
a cameo, maybe a cameo.
I do. I think that overlaps, right? I think there's some overlap.
No comment.
Yeah, you can't comment because it's a spoiler.
Right, because they're in Albuquerque right now. That's where Breaking Bad takes place. It's not like he changed areas. So yeah, because I mean we meet Jimmy, Saul, whatever. Through his commercials, which is hilarious.
Yes.
And then they take him out to the desert and he references Lalo and
Yes.
Ignacio.
And Ignacio.
But we don't really know how much time passes.
It's gonna be like him and Kim out at a restaurant, and they're just gonna look up, and a plane's gonna blow up in the middle of the sky.
Nah.
Whoa!
No, that would be like at the same time as Breaking Bad.
Well, I think there's an overlap. Like that was. Well, I guess that's season 3. I don't think there's gonna be that much overlap. Or was it 2? Was it 2 for the plane?
Well, it's got to be the end.
I mean, if
Well,
there is
the
an
end, it's the
overlap,
finale.
if there is an overlap, it has to like It has to mean that we should have heard of HM or Kim Wexler or
No,
like
possibly not. I mean, all we have heard of is Saul.
yeah.
You
and
mean
that
in
could be
Breaking
the-
Bad we would have heard of HHM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No,
they
it could
wrote
be-
Breaking Bad after, so.
Does
No, I
he
mean, if
ever
there's an
reference
overlap.
Kim and
He's saying like an
Breaking
overlap
Bad
of the
at all?
timelines. No, they don't. So, but I'm
like even like a little like my ex-girlfriend used to, blah blah blah. Like I wonder if
Is there
has it ever even been like a little, just like even like a little, like a tiny reference?
well, there might be,
Tom, you would
and
know
they'll
'cause you
be in the
watched the show a lot.
comments, and it'll be
Yes,
spoilers.
drop a comment if Saul.
Well, you've
ever,
seen Breaking Bad, so I can tell you
Yeah,
if
but
there
like-
was a reference or not, right? Or no?
Yeah,
Well,
you
could
can
it-
tell
Yeah,
us, but
because
it's
it
cool
wouldn't
if
be a
the
spoiler.
comments-
It wouldn't be a
since we watched
spoiler, right?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And as many times as I've watched Breaking Bad and this and read and done it, nobody has ever said that there was a reference to Kim in Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
But-
she's an afterthought.
But if I'm wrong, set me straight in the comments.
Oh, true. Yeah, it is an afterthought.
Yeah, because it was written way after.
Mm.
They probably would if he had written both of them. and
Knowing
the
Vince,
whole-
though, in his mind.
Maybe he could find one, some sort of little
He's like-
Easter egg reference that
Thinking.
somebody picks up on.
No. If it were, it would probably be purely coincidental.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't actually written for Kim. It's just she
Yeah.
filled the spot after they started doing Better Call Saul. Anyways,
Right.
yeah.
The-
Best
And
of
in
my
the-
knowledge.
In the comments, you got to remember that like we're only in season 2, near the end of season 2. We don't have all of the knowledge and experience
Yes.
that you do of watching the whole series. So sometimes you may go ahead and comment things and say things and not realize that you've been impacted. You wouldn't say these things at this point in the series. So just try
Exactly.
just
And-
kind of try to be a little
Exactly.
careful.
Like,
Chill with us.
yeah, like when I give these guys comments to read at the beginning of, like, I sent Kevin the messages, and it's really hard, especially when you're talking about, well, why do they feel this way about the character? Why do they feel that way about the character? Well, because they've only seen a season and a half, and you guys need to just understand that like Kevin just said, they don't have all the information. And I would argue that you saying this is how you feel about characters is a spoiler, because you're going off of information that they don't have.
Right.
Mhm.
And it might even be like you don't even
Innocent,
realize it.
yeah. Yeah, it's like
And,
super
like,
innocent.
Like when Katie had that one off comment about Kim, and it was like we don't know, and that could entirely be possible. But then there was a bunch of, oh, how dare you talk about like
I have
the
to keep
favorite.
rolling it in my face, Kevin. We can't just let it die.
so
So
now-
keep bringing it up.
But now
I'm
our
sorry, Kim.
but now our perception has changed that like Kim
Yeah.
over the next, like, she must be like some revered awesome character, whereas
And-
like at the beginning of the show we have no idea.
Yeah, and that
But
that comment that Katie made was like episode 2. Like, we don't even
Yeah.
like she
You're like,
like
how dare you?
Or episode
like,
1, maybe.
all they know is there's this female in Jimmy's life, who works
And it
for
did seem like a cake and eat it too
HHM.
situation, but now it's very clear that she obviously has some pretty true feelings for him.
Yes.
It's like
But just
when
be
Kevin-
careful, please, in comments.
It's like when Kevin said that. Oh my God, what was his name? Good guy Todd.
Oh yeah. Oh, he seems like a good guy.
And then what? 10 minutes later, he shoots a kid.
shoots
Okay, that's not a good guy.
No, but it's like in the comments you'd be like, how dare you call Todd a good guy? I'm like, I don't have any other information to go on. Seems like a good guy.
And there was even a comment that was like, "Yeah, wait till you see what else he does." And it's like, that's
Yeah,
a
that's a
killer
spoiler.
spoiler.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
Well, we weren't the only one, because remember the one comment who said another reactor called him a precious lamb.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to read and we love the input, but just try and remember that, yeah, what we've talked about. So
Yeah, like we're here. We don't have any information after this point in the show. You do.
That's
so
true.
try try to remember that. It's probably not intentional for like 99% of the comments, but you will have some sort of inherent bias on the actions of characters who, because you have seen already the way it plays out. We have not.
There's been some pretty doozy spoilers in the comments which is why I'm the arbiter.
You're the
Right, and this is why
the
we
gatekeeper.
Have to, we stay out of the comments, and you don't see any of us ever
Filter.
respond anymore, is because we
just
generally want to have a, like a original experience, like a what's
a
the
genuine
word
reaction,
like
first
a
time
genuine
reaction.
yeah.
Yes.
Organic, I think might be the word.
Yeah,
Like
we've all
regular-
Like it's not staged. We're not like we have
Yeah,
not seen the episode and then we're like, oh, it's cool to now like do that and
Yeah, obviously you guys you like reaction channels. You're watching us, and I love them too. I watch reaction videos all the time, and you can tell when it's just fake. It's wonky. It's weird, and we'll never be that. So we'll never lie to you. So it's
we
all
will never
We're
scam
wonky
you.
and weird, but in a different way.
yeah. You can tell by Kevin's wild predictions that he hasn't seen this.
I get them right every now and then.
Yeah, 1 out of 37. Yeah, but anyways, we're still waiting on the water heater.
That's
Cool.
right. I knew Gus was dead. The end. I got that.
Yeah, it was a good episode though.
Very good. I
Yes.
like that. It's the pace is like it's
Yeah.
It's building.
From here forward, pretty much I would say even the last episode, but this episode forward, it's more. I would say it's more that Breaking Bad shit's going down happening. So
yeah.
So next episode is the finale, right? Of season 2?
9. Let me look. Nope, you got one more after. Wait.
We
Oh,
just
this
watched
was 9.
9.
Yep. It's season finale.
Oh man.
Ooh,
Wow, this is
ooh,
going fast.
okay. All right.
Nice.
Cool.
Looking forward to it. All right.
Mhm.
All
Well,
right.
have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
See you next week.
Bye bye.